So about a month ago, we did a little experiment on the channel. We put together a system that cost less than £300 to see if we could generate a reasonable amount of energy that would offset your energy bills. We used this Hoy Miles microinverter. But I've got a thing for microinverters. For those of you that have been around the channel know, we've got the stream system here. This has a microinverter in it. We've got the Hoy Miles. And today we're going to be installing this microinverter from APsystems. Now, this is not a sponsored video. I bought this on Amazon, and my plan today is to try and build a system that not only costs less than £250, but also we're going to predict exactly how much energy that system produces. Now, before I dive into the installation, getting this thing set up, let me explain a comment that I received on the last video. In fact, a theme of comments that I received, and they were all around the idea of, well, how much energy will it generate in my house? And what I've done to actually try and help answer that question, because I don't know where you live, I don't know your circumstances, I don't know where you're going to put your panels, all of that information is I've built a tool to help you predict it. Now, it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it's going to ask you a series of questions and it's going to give you a prediction of exactly how much your microgeneration system is going to produce over the course of a year. But before we get to that, let's go get this AP1 system installed, get it set up, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how the tool works. Okay, so this is the panel that we're going to use. And you have to excuse Yogi. Yogi likes to bring all his toys up onto the patio just before it rains. Looks like we're going to have some rain later on today. And he just piles them all up here. I think it's to try and keep them dry. But anyway, this is the panel that we're going to use. This is a 440 watt JA solar panel. I'm actually going to lift it off just so you can see the mounting system. So again, just to show you how easy it is to mount, these are simple hooks that go over the top of the fence panel, and the panel just hangs down and covers up all the cobwebs and the nasties that living behind there. Okay, let's put you back. Okay, so our £250 system is going to consist of one panel. Now, I want to answer a question again from the other video. Now, I might have made it sound like in the other video that somehow I got panels that fell off the back of a van. Nothing could be further from the truth. So the panels that I acquired that I paid about £60 each for, although I went and talked to a solar installer, I didn't just hand them cash and then they brought them round. I actually talked to them, they called their boss sent me an invoice, I paid the invoice, and then they delivered the panels. So it was all above board. But I understand most people can't get a panel for £60. In fact, if you look on City Plumbing today, a JA solar panel like this is about £97. So for the purposes of the math today, we'll call it £100 a panel. So the system is going to comprise of one 440 watt panel in a vertical orientation, 90 degrees. There's a bit of cabling. There's probably 5 meters of cabling, which will add into the cost a little bit later. And that's going to run into the microinverter, which is going to go in the garage. Okay, so I've got the microinverter mounted up on the wall. I've got the solar panel connected to it. I'm sure everybody's going to scream at me about the wiring. As per my normal, I'll get to it. I'll tidy it up. I'm not sure this is going to be its final resting place, but it's on the wall. One tip for anyone that is thinking of ordering one of these systems is, just like with the Hoy Miles, it has a proprietary connector to your mains lead. So you will need to order this piece separately and put that on the end of your mains flex. Again, does not come in the box. I don't know why, I think it's just to keep the price down, but you can't use it without it. So you do need to order this piece separately. But let's take a quick look at the app. Right now, my Shelly, which is monitoring this plug socket, is saying we're generating about 143 watts. The sun must have just come out. And if I head across now to the app. Now, I have found with these microinverter apps, they don't update in real time like the Shelly app. It's showing about 153 watts, but we'll let that run for a few days and we'll start to gather some data. Now, we're going to head back outside in a minute. I'm going to show you my prediction for what this is going to generate. And then in about 10 days to 2 weeks, we'll come back and we'll see, is it living up to the prediction of what we think it's going to generate? And then I'm going to show you the new tool. I'm going to show you how you can use it to figure out what a micro generation system, if you install it in your garden, on your balcony, on your property, anywhere, what it would generate, or at least give you an idea of what it would generate and how quickly it will pay for itself. So let's head back outside. It's looking like the rain's going to hold off. Let's go outside and take a look at the tool. So for those that have been around the channel for a while, you'll know I love creating little web tools that do very specific jobs. And today is no exception. So if you want to follow along, you can head over to my website, to jonathantracey.com. If you go up to the tools menu at the top there, and then you click on the plugin ROI tool, the one at the bottom of the list, it will bring you to this page. Now, there are a number of steps we're going to go through. So we're going to go through this slowly, but what you'll see here is what I'm doing is combining a number of different pieces of information. So I'm going to ask you for your postcode. And from that postcode, we're going to extract roughly where you live. And again, I'm not trying to gather any personal data here, but I need to know where you are in the country. So from your postcode. And we're also going to then be able to pull in your tariff information if you're with Octopus, using the Octopus API. If you're not, you can enter your tariff information manually. So anyway, when you come to the page, the first thing it's going to do is going to give you a bit of blurb about the tool, but we're going to talk about it, so we're going to scroll right down. So the first thing it's going to ask us is for a postcode. So I'm going to pop in here and I'm going to type SW1A1AA. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, that's not my postcode. That's the postcode for Buckingham Palace. You'll see there it says it's London South East, and it's given us a longitude and latitude for that area. And that's going to give us access to something called the PVGIS database. Now, PVGIS is something that a lot of solar installers use because it lets you put in the position of a house, the orientation of the panels, the pitch, and it will give you a sort of seasonal forecast of what they're likely to produce. And that's exactly what we're going to use. So anyway, we enter our postcode, we click continue. Now, the next thing it's going to do is ask you to pick from products. Now, what I've done here is I've picked a number of different products that I'm familiar with, including the APsystems microinverter that we've just installed in the garage. I will add more products to this list as I test them, but right now, these are the ones that I'm familiar with, I know that work. So it's asking you to pick at least one product. And again, if I just scroll back up, you can see the sort of along the top of the screen there, you'll see the stages. So we've done location, we're now on system. So it's asking us to select equipment. So let's just select the microinverter that we've just installed, which is the APsystems one. Now, obviously, I'm on YouTube. I need to make a living. So there are affiliate links here. If you're considering buying any of these will take you to my Amazon storefront, and I would be greatly appreciated if anyone would use them. But anyway, so APsystems there. Now on this screen, you can filter it. So let's say you're just interested in EcoFlow systems. If you tap on the little green bubble for EcoFlow, it'll filter out everything that's not EcoFlow. I can press show all products if we're looking for just Hoy miles. You get the general idea. But in this case, we've got one microinverter that's similar to the one we've just installed, and it's showing us at the top here, so what the cost of that product is. Now, these products are changing daily, so by the time you see this video, these product prices might not be correct. I will do my best to keep them up to date. Unfortunately, Amazon won't give me access to their pricing database to be able to update them automatically. So anyway, we've picked a microinverter. So the next thing to do is to go to panels. Now, depending on the device you pick, it has a number of MPPTs. So in this case, it tells us we can have up to 2 panels. Now, we're only having the one that is behind me. It is actually only a 440 watt panel. We said it cost £100. Its direction is south. Let me get my directions right. So south-southeast. And its pitch is 90 degrees because it is in the vertical orientation. So again, now we can add another panel if we want to, but you'll notice we can't continue yet, and that's because we haven't selected any cabling or mounting. Now the cabling will just add some costs for that, but it's given us a number of different options here. And actually we want the fence panel mount, the hooks that we talked about earlier, so we'll add one to that. And it's added £25 for cabling and for costs. And that's just not only the DC cabling, the MC4 connectors, but also the plug and the little bit of cable that you'll need on the other end there. And we'll click continue. Now then it's going to ask you basically how much electricity do you use? Are you a light user, medium user, heavy user? Now this is only really applicable if you choose a product with a battery or have multiple MPPTs, because it will try and estimate what it will generate and have you picked a system that is too big for your needs. But in this case, with a small microinverter, that's not going to matter. Then the last step, because of the postcode we put in, it is pulled in tariff information from Octopus. In this case, I'm going to select Octopus Intelligent Go. It tells me my cheap rate, 8 pence, my peak rate, 31.6 pence. And there are a whole load of advanced assumptions here you can change if you want. Round trip efficiencies if you're selecting a system with batteries, panel degradation, and annual rate of inflation for energy bills. But then I'm just going to hit calculate result. Now this is where it gets interesting. So according to the prices here, actually the system was slightly more than £250. It's come in at £263. But our summary here, so our location is based on the PVGIS. It's got our Octopus tariff. The system has no battery, so we're not taking into account any battery charging and discharging. Total system cost £263. It is estimating that this system with one panel will generate 309 kilowatt hours in a full year. So therefore it's estimating it's saving me £98. So that, again, that is based on my tariff, what my rates of electricity are. Solar not used, again, because we don't have any batteries or we're not a heavy energy user, that will show up as 0, no battery capacity. And the important payback period, the 2.7 years. So we'll break even in year 3. And after 25 years, if we kept this system for a full 25 years, which there's no reason why you couldn't, that panel came with a 25-year warranty. I believe the inverter has about a 10-year warranty, but there's no reason why it couldn't continue to run. Our £263 investment would turn into £3,580. Now again, we can look at month by month. So if you want to see what it will generate in the winter versus the summer. So again, in January, not a huge amount, one panel, vertical orientation, it's not going to change the world. About 15 kilowatt hours, saving you £5. In the summer, you're looking at £10 to £11 per month. Again, £98 savings for the year. If you want to see it in chart form, we have both the monthly generation and the monthly savings chart. And if you scroll down to the bottom there, you can see where the break-even point is in the middle of year 2. Now, one of the things you can do on the charts page, which is interesting, is what if you decided, well, what if I could just change the panel orientation slightly? Now, over there, we've got some panels that are actually off the fence by about 5 degrees. So again, we could just drop that to 85 degrees. And you'll notice the charts adjust slightly. Now, they're not going to change the world by changing it 5 degrees, but I could change that pitch to 35 degrees, which is sort of an average roof pitch. And you'll see there is a huge difference there. So we're actually, instead of generating 10 kilowatt hours on a summer's day in June, we're actually generating closer to 50. So obviously vertical orientation isn't the best, but if you're in a flat, if you're hanging these on a balcony, if you haven't got any more space on your roof like me, then it may be the only thing you can do. So again, we go from a monthly generation of 50 kilowatts and maybe making 15, maybe £16. We push it back to 90. We're down to maybe 30 in a month in the summer and maybe £10 of savings. So again, it just lets you play with those numbers. And again, if you want to check any of what you've got in the system, go to the assumptions page and it will list everything that you've got there. So our single panel, if we go back to our monthly data, we are now in June, should generate somewhere around 32 kilowatt hours for the month of June. Now it is the 3rd of June today, so I'm a little bit late installing it. So I'm going to run this for a full month, and then I'm going to compare the actual generation figures with what the PVGIS database is actually telling us. Now again, feel free to have a play with this. You can jump back. So let's say we want to change the system. We can click on system. We can go back and we can say, actually, I don't want an APsystems. What I want is an EcoFlow Stream Ultra. The Stream Ultra has 4 MPPTs. So let me just change the, let's do a perfect system. South facing, 35-degree pitch, and we will just add 4 panels to that. We'll go across to mounts and cables, and we're going to mount these on the ground or on a flat roof. Let's do a flat roof mount because they're more expensive, so we'll just pump up the price. So we'll say we want 4 flat roof mounting kits for the 4 panels. Again, it's gonna add £25 per system for cabling. So you can see at the top there, the total system cost is about £2,032. We're going to click continue, and ask it to calculate the results. Now you can see instead of making us £98 for a year, this system is returning £706 in a year. Now there's a couple of reasons for that. Obviously we've got more panels, more generation, but we've also got the battery. And even though it's only a 2 kilowatt-hour battery, that means we can import energy from the grid, we can store it in the battery, and we can use off-peak energy during the day. So again, it takes all of that into account when it's predicting what your system will be able to generate and how much it will return. And again, if we take a look at the charts, you can see much more generation, over 200 kilowatt hours in June, and saving us somewhere in the region of about £80 to £90 a month as we get into April, May, June and July. Payback, about 3 years. So that's the great thing with all of these small systems, is their payback periods are relatively small. So if you are a renter, you are planning to be in a home for 2 or 3 years, buy a system, start reducing your energy bills, and then when you move, pick it up, take it with you. To take this system apart and get it all packed up would take less than an hour. And then you move to your new house, set it up in your new garden, or hang it on your new balcony. So anyway, that's the tool. Again, I'd love to get your feedback. If there are things you think it could do better. I'm an engineer and a coder. I'm not a user experience designer, so apologies. It is a bit clunky through the user experience, but it does tell you exactly what the system that you want to design should deliver for you. Now again, I'm not guaranteeing these numbers are correct. I'm using the PVGIS database, but this is the database that solar installers use. So the numbers should be nearly accurate. And in a month's time, we'll come back and see what that system's generated, and we'll compare it against our results here, and we'll see if it's accurate. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you found this useful. If you have, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. The channel's really starting to grow, so thank you to everybody who has already clicked it. If you haven't, it doesn't actually cost you anything, and it really does help the channel out. So a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. With that, I'm going to sign off, and if I'm lucky, I'll see you back here real soon, hopefully with a bit better June weather in the very near future. Take care. Bye-bye.